Uh, that's not. Hold please. None of this looks right. Fine. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Thursday. Or I know, truly. In the literal sense. Good morning. Good enough. Good enough. We're co-working today. I've got a few things to get done. Not a ton, but um figured if I'm gonna be here working and I haven't exactly been streaming a ton lately. Might as well, right? I have work assignment to turn in. It's mostly done. I just have to go through what I do, and I'm realizing that a lot of the like things that I do when I work, I'm seeing this in my homework, and I see this way that like now that I'm writing more often, um, is probably not the most. So like what I do is I go through and do the assignment and answer the questions, and such, and then I go back through with the rubric and like tweak everything to make sure that I'm addressing all of the different, rather than just doing that from the beginning. I don't know why. Um, that's just how I am. So I have the like rough draft done. So now I just go through and make sure that I've actually covered all of the points. So not a ton to do. I had 2 homework assignments this week. I already turned in the other one on Tuesday, and he's already graded it. So love that. Noise gate might be too high. Is it cutting me off? I do also have a fan going. Where is noise? That should be better. I'm also probably not talking as loud as I normally do. And I was like slouched all the way back here. So that should be better. Let me know. Thank you for telling me. Um, sounds better. Good. Good, good, good. So we're gonna do that. I want to apply for some more jobs. I'm at the point now. It's like super, super busy season for the like the summer job I'm doing. But I'm keenly aware that I also only have like 6 weeks left before this job is over. So I'm starting to feel the pinch. I'm starting to feel like I need to get another job now because I'm not gonna have this one much longer. So it has been nice for the last few weeks to have like a little bit of a reprieve, but now I'm also starting to feel like, okay, girl, we got to get in gear and make it happen. So I know, yeah. Well, it was literally only a summer job, so I started in like late May, early June. July is like our busy, busy season, and then August is when things start to wind down a little bit. Sunday in particular, I'm not looking forward to it. I hate working on the weekends in general, but particularly at this job because no one else is around on the weekends. So I work at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. We have like an on-call person who's supposed to be our primary support, but I always feel like an asshole calling them. This weekend, that person happens to be one of the folks who's based on the West Coast. So if something happens at like 7 or 8 in the morning on the East Coast, which the last few weeks it has, I'm gonna have to call them at like 4 or 5 in the morning on a Sunday to get help. And on Sunday, on my like East Coast folks, I have like 80 people all traveling on that day. And some of them are traveling to like Panama and Costa Rica. So the chances that something is going to happen, someone's going to miss a flight or a bus, or someone's going to forget an ID or whatever, are very high. And I always feel like there's nobody to help me on Sundays. every time I need something, something is broken. The other day we have like a credit card we use if we need to like book travel for people. The document where we keep the credit card number and address and everything was gone. The link to it just went to nothing. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I needed to book this flight for someone immediately. And there was only one ticket left on the last flight, which was the flight I needed. And so I was like Microsoft Teamsing everybody I could think of, and no one was answering. And all that is like extra like heightened on weekends. So I don't love getting up early and working on the weekends anyway, but this Sunday in particular I am dreading. um so we'll see. But yeah, as far as I know, my last day is August 31st. I don't know if we like stay on after for any reason. I can't imagine why we would. No one else is traveling after that, but um yeah, then I'll be done. So I need something that starts September 1st, ideally. But we've seen how my luck has been so far. So we will do some job applications today. I've still been applying, not as like a full-time job as it was before, but I've been setting in like 4 or 5 applications a day. I'm not even getting like responses anymore. Like before, I would at least get like a rejection email here or there, or I would get like a first round interview or something, like an email telling me that they weren't going to fill the job anymore. Now I'm not hearing anything from like any of them, and a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know what I'm gonna do if I can't get a job soon. Like I know that I've been saying that for years, but it's getting to the point where like I'm running out of like backup plans and safety net and all that stuff. But to the point where I made a really bad decision this week. Oh, speaking of, um, speaking of, we did in fact put a new coffee goal together. So here's what happened. You're gonna be disappointed. I can already hear it because it was not a sound financial decision, but I believe I had to do it. I got a computer. I got a PC. But here's the thing. I did it because I had the opportunity to get one at a pretty steep discount. Courtesy of Treadmill Boy. So here's the thing. Hi, Kiki. Hello. I do think it was worth it because here's the thing. We talked about this a little bit the last time I streamed. Like my PC, she's no spring chicken. And I'm not able to update my operating system to Windows 11. They're going to stop supporting Windows 10 in October. This is my livelihood. Like this is how I do my schoolwork. This is how I work. This is how I apply for jobs. So like if I don't have a computer, I'm kind of fucked, for lack of a better term. So well, around in the sense that we still talk to each other. Yes, it's not a thing, but we still talk. We're friends. Um, he watches my streams, and that's how this sort of came up. Was he had watched the VOD from that conversation, and he reached out and was like, "Hey, I know you don't want to take on any more like expenses right now," which is correct. But if you want, so through his job, and I had this at my last full-time job too, the tech startup. Um, he has access to, they get like a stipend for their home office stuff, and so there's like a store, a special store they shop on that they can spend that on, so that they're not allowed to spend that stipend on other shit that doesn't count as like office stuff. He was like, I get a really big discount on things like PCs through this. The store he has is way bigger than the one I had. Literally just had like office stuff. His has like pretty much anything technology related. So it has like gaming PCs and stuff. Which must be nice. And so he's like, I get really big discounts here. If you want, I'm happy to like let you use this. So basically, like I would pay for it, but he uses his like access for it. And so basically, the PC I got is normally like 1900 dollars, but between his discount, um, I had a prepaid gift card, like a prepaid Visa, um, that we got from our extracurriculars, and I cashed in some of my like credit card points. I was able to get it down to like $1,000. And so I was like, I'm not going to get a better deal than this. And so what I didn't want to be in a position where I didn't get this and then just waited until this PC became literally unusable and then I'd have to buy something then and wouldn't be able to find like a really good deal. So we did it. I put it on a credit card. But I got it for like half off, which in this economy, in this climate, for that kind of a product, unheard of. And it comes with it doesn't come with as much memory as my current PC has, but I was able to add extra memory. So it's coming with some extra memory that I can put into it that'll then give it more memory than this one has. So this one I think has 32. And I think the PC I bought comes with 16, but I bought 32 to add to it. So, long story short, I have a PC that's supposed to be here tomorrow. um, and so the new coffee goal is to help me actually pay for that PC. So it's on a credit card, which is not ideal. It was not probably a wise financial decision, but I really, as much as like I can go like without a lot of things, I can't be without a computer, certainly right now especially. So it was a strategic decision that I made. um and I'm excited because I think it'll mean I'll be able to stream a lot of games that I've just never been able to stream or haven't been able to stream for a very long time. So I'm excited because I think a lot of my like frustration with streaming in the past has come from the fact that I don't feel like there's a lot of things that I can stream. um I haven't been able to like multi-stream, so I'll be able to stream to TikTok and Twitch at the same time, or YouTube, or all three even. So I'll be able to do a lot of the things that I think have made streaming really challenging and therefore frustrating for me. Obviously, it'll be nice to have a computer that I don't think I'm gonna have to replace for a while. um, I won't have to worry about fixing the fan on this one, so that's where we're at. So there is the coffee goal if folks are interested. I do not expect to raise $1,000 for this PC, so I will figure it out. Hopefully, it'll pay off and I'll be able to get a job really fast. Question mark. And it won't be an issue, but that is where we're at. And it comes with like a keyboard, mouse, and all that stuff too. So it'll be kind of a replacement for everything except for my monitors. That said, it comes tomorrow. I probably won't have it set up until at least Monday. So if I stream over the weekend, which is a big if since I work in the morning both days anyway, it'll probably still be from this PC. Because I have to transfer everything over. And that's what I'm realizing now is that I have had this specific computer for like 6 years now. I've never had to transfer all my things to a different one. So I'm realizing now just how much I have on here. And it's everything from pictures and like old like tax returns and documents and things that I've always just saved to like a folder on my PC, to like all of the stuff that goes with my OBS. So like all of the subscriber commands, when I switch everything over, those are probably going to go away because you can transfer all of that stuff, but it will only work with my bot and with OBS if the pathing is the same. So I would have to create a folder on the new PC that has the same exact like address as the one on this PC. And I am probably not going to do all of that. Especially for something like the subscriber commands that people don't really use that much anyway. So I'm taking it also as an opportunity to maybe like kind of start fresh when it comes to stream stuff. So we'll probably trim a lot of the like extra stuff that people just don't really use that much. Things like those sub commands. I don't know if I'll keep using Tangia. Like we've had moments where we used it, but like it's been months, I think, since anybody's used any of those. So I think it's an opportunity to like clean up the OBS a little bit.
So, Dula Peep.
Yeah, get what you're gonna get out of those for now, because every single one of those has a file on my PC somewhere, and I'm not probably gonna take the time to transfer all of that over. I'm having a hard enough time. I have a notebook that I'm writing down all of my passwords in. So everything for my like streaming stuff, my Steam, my Epic Games launcher, all of that stuff, everything for my job, everything for my school, all of the usernames and passwords are written down in here, because I also don't trust that I'm going to be able to transfer all of that stuff over. And I have passwords that I had saved on this PC years ago and have never had to. I couldn't possibly tell you like my Amazon password because it's been saved on here for so long that I'm not even sure which email address I would have used to sign up for that. Like, so it's going to be a bit messy, I think, in the transition. But like I said, I'm excited. We can start playing Fortnite again, for example. You know, a lot of the horror games, a lot of like the indie horror games that I play, even though they're pretty like simple, or the like the game files are smaller, because it's like an indie game, it's not always the most optimized. So we've had some of these indie games that have like really gotten the PC screaming. So I think that it'll be nice to be able to play more. It's not like the beefiest PC in the world, so it'll still, I think, struggle with some stuff, but not as much as I think my PC does now. Even Overwatch is a lot for this computer. So I'm excited. And I want to throw up thinking about it, because that's like $1,000 that I didn't have and still don't have, and don't have a plan for getting. So if you see me like all of a sudden really kick things up when it comes to streaming and posting on YouTube and shit, it's because I'm trying to monetize everything as quickly as I can so that we can do something about it. So that I don't get sued for not paying. Anyway. So that's where we're at. So that's supposed to be here tomorrow. And then, like I said, I'll probably work on getting it all set up over the weekend. It sucks because I work on the weekend too, so I can't unplug and disconnect this PC until the new one is ready to go, because I work on this computer too. So I might have to wait till Monday to do everything, just because I don't want to risk something not working on the new computer when I need it. But I'm excited. It's the same company. It's a CyberPower. I haven't had any really. I mean, I've had issues with this one, but all of them I think have been related to just the fact that it's an old PC. I don't think I got a bad computer because it was a CyberPower one. So it's the same brand. It's Windows 11. It has an NVIDIA card instead of AMD, which I've heard NVIDIA is better. So when it comes to like being able to stream certain games, I might actually. I don't want to jinx anything before we actually get it, but I could potentially stream games not on the lowest graphics settings. Dare I say, perhaps we could turn up the graphics even a little bit. Could be nice. Could be nice. Maybe my clips won't look so crunchy. I know. Like I said, I don't want to count our chickens before they hatch, but I think it could be. It's possible. So we'll see. I'm hoping it gets here tomorrow. Tomorrow's also supposed to be. Tomorrow we're taking Goose for his bath and such. So I'm hoping it gets here before Jared gets here, and I can talk him into putting the memory into the PC for me. Because he did it on this one. I'm sure I can figure it out. I don't think it's that hard, but if I can get him to do it instead, that would be nice too. And he likes doing that stuff. High def, pores open, detailed clips. Not pores open. In fact, I might even be able to, because right now I can't do a whole lot more on my OBS without it getting crunchy. My OBS crashed trying to set the stream up today, as a matter of fact. I had to open it in admin mode. But if I had a little bit more computing power, I could maybe put a filter on my stream and pores would be gone. Huh? Pores? Clocked out. Never. So I do want to also take the chance too to like start streaming on a schedule again. I think my issue has been that I've always tried to set a schedule that's just too much. So I think especially with school stuff and then trying to find a job, I think realistically, committing to like 2 streams a week is probably the um, best plan. And if I can do them in drag, great. If not, that's gonna have to be okay too. So I think I just need to be really honest with myself about bandwidth and what I'm realistically going to do. I might be capable of streaming more, but I'm not probably going to. And I'd rather under promise and over deliver than keep like saying, I'm going to start streaming again on a schedule. I'm going to start streaming 3 times, 4 times a week, blah, blah, blah. And then consistently not doing that. And then trying to just not worry about numbers. I think that's always gotten me too, is that I'm constantly thinking about like when I first started streaming, which is of course forever ago. It was a very different world. It was a very different time. People were much more available than they are now. And so I get in my head about like not having as many viewers and not having as many subscribers and not having, all of that stuff. So as much as it kills me to sit here and look at like I've got 2 viewers, I only have 8 subscribers right now. That stuff just needs to not be as important to me. I don't know how to like just shut that off in my head, but that is in fact what needs to happen. So if y'all have any tips for making that happen, let me know. I don't know how to just not care about things. Unfortunately, that's not something I've ever been really good at. So, but anyway, what else is going on? Work, cool stuff. Class is still going really well. I still don't necessarily understand everything we're doing. I will say that we're getting into stuff now that I remember from my undergrad, or like when I was a high school student. I was in the Upward Bound program and I did research through that program, and I remember like we're talking about like hypothesis testing and t-tests, and um I remember some of this a little bit more than the stuff that we were doing before, so I feel a little bit better. But yeah, exactly. And I think for me it's more so like I can handle it, but it's frustrating to not feel like I can do anything about it. Like obviously there are things I could be doing differently, but it does feel like no matter what I stream, no matter when I stream, whether I'm in drag, out of drag, nothing changes a lot of those numbers. And so I need to learn for it to not bother me so much. I need to learn how to let that be okay. Um, which is something I've struggled with for a very long time. I think a lot about the first like year that I streamed, and streaming was so much fun. And I was streaming 8 hours a day, and it was nothing to me. I was streaming in drag 4 or 5 days a week, playing nothing but Dead by Daylight, and it was so much fun. And that's not to say that I don't have fun with streaming now, um, but it feels different now too. And I think a lot of that has to do with outside of streaming stuff. I think a lot of it has to do with feeling like because I don't have a full-time job, because I'm in school, I need streaming to be worth it in a sense. So I feel like if I'm not making a certain amount of money off of streaming and content stuff, I should be spending that time doing something else instead that does. Um, and I don't know how to like, I know that objectively it's okay to do things that don't make you money. It's okay to have hobbies that are just hobbies. But because I'm in survival mode right now, and I've been in this sort of like survival mode space for so long, I don't know how to make it like make myself believe that that's okay. So that I think is driving a lot of um, sort of my attitude on stream. I'm very aware too that like I haven't had the best attitude on stream for a very long time. Um, but again, I don't know how to like. I know, and this has been a recurring theme for me, is that I always know, not always, I usually know what I need or what the like right thing to do is, but getting myself to like saying it and believing it can be 2 different things. And that's kind of where I'm stuck now, is this like I want streaming to be super fun again. I want to have the community that like loves to show up and have fun, and it's very casual. And I don't know how to make that happen. And I know that it's that I can't make it happen, that it just has to happen naturally. But I don't know how to like get myself to let go of all of that. So will a new PC fix that? Probably not. But I think it'll help a lot of the other things that have been contributing. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Other than that, nothing else really going on my end. Job stuff, work stuff, dog stuff. Dog's doing good. Oh, I got a new book. I started a new book yesterday. A friend of mine wrote it. I went to high school with her. Her name's Amber Hathaway. It's called Little White Flowers, and she just released it like a couple weeks ago. I've barely read any of it. I'm such a slow reader. Yeah, I'm 25 pages in. But it's good so far. I think it's supposed to be part of a series, like a trilogy maybe, that she's working on. I know she's working on the second book now. Trilogy, yeah. So pick it up if you get a chance. A Little White Flowers, Amber Hathaway. I think it's a horror. It's setting itself up like it's like a horror thriller. Yeah, but it's good. Lots of like neurodivergent representation. I think ace representation as well. So very good, very excited, and good for her. I've got a little shelf over here with all the books that people I know have written. We'll add that to the shelf when we're done reading it. And yeah, about it. Today we're gonna work on my homework. A authors, exactly. And I know she's been working on this for a long time, like years and years and years. So committed to the seeing it through. Couldn't be me. Never. So yeah, so I've got, let's go to the, I have homework to do, so we're gonna go and add our task. What is this homework called? Scenario analysis, I think is what it's called. Yeah. Scenario analysis. In Seattle, which originally I was supposed to have my first draft come back. Well, it'll get done when it gets done. Are you going to that? I've never heard of that. Later, exclamation point, later. Apply for jobs. At this point, I'm literally even just applying for like basic call center stuff. And honestly, that would be, I think, kind of ideal. Because what I really want is just a job that I can do remotely. That I can do at least until I finish this degree. And then when I have this master's degree done, I can look for more kind of jobs that are more specifically tailored to having that credential. The event they do the Hugo Awards. I Googled the Hugo Awards. Oh, those are cute. Oh, that's why I haven't heard of it. It's genre specific. The World Science Fiction Convention. That tracks. Do people dress up? Can I find me a single man with tentacles? Should I be booking a flight? I can't book a flight. Enjoy your ads. Love you. Mean it. More of a writer's thing. Oh. Not even the fun kind of nerds? Tragic. Tragic. Well. How close are you to having your first draft? Do you know? Who am I kidding? Of course you know. You've probably got a spreadsheet with your timeline. Well, at least you're consistent. She has a brand. She has a brand. She's a spreadsheet girly. Well, good for you. I'm sure, it'll get done when it gets done. When you're, giving interviews on daytime TV, doing press for your smash hit debut, That'll be a fun little anecdote you can share with Hoda. Is Hoda still on there? Not Hodag. Hoda. Fuck's Hodag. Oh, she's quitting. Well, whoever takes her place. It'll be a fun little anecdote. Like, you know, I had this grand plan. I thought it was going to be on time, and then I just decided, you know what? You can't rush perfection. You really can't. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will this book. 53%. Do you have like a word count? Sure you do. I feel like sci-fi books are usually bigger. I feel like my dad was a big sci-fi. He was he liked Tolkien, and he liked, oh, what's the guy's, L. Ron Hubbard. I remember he had so many L. Ron Hubbard books. And I remember they always were so big. 8,768. Let me see how many I have. About 110,000. That was weird. The number started changing as soon as I opened the file. Like Microsoft Word automatically counts the words. And the number was like changing. I have 26,113. But that includes like because I have goldfish brain, each of the chapters has like a little paragraph at the beginning saying what happens in the chapter. So those won't be in the final product. But and they're also bad. But I have three novels started, and then a short story. None of them are done, and none of them are good. And this one has, oh, this one has even more. Maybe I should do this one first. 42,738. Again, not good ones. 187 pages. What the fuck? All right. I don't remember some of them though, because like I said, some of these are pieces that I started literally like 10 years ago. Your first draft is bad. Yeah, that's what I think have learned to like accept. And I think that's what had always stopped me before, was that the idea of going through it multiple times in order to like polish it, I hated it. So I think in my head it was, I'm going to write it once and it's going to be good the first time, or I'm not doing it at all. And it doesn't usually work that way for most people, I would assume. So I'm more okay with it taking a long time. All right, I keep getting messages on Teams for work stuff. What else am I doing? So applying for jobs, homework. I could work on book stuff, but I don't really feel like it. If we're just being honest, I just don't want to. So I think I won't. Literally a superpower. I feel like I could see the benefit if you're someone who is super patient and can really like there's a strong sort of sense of like visualization. Like I bet the folks who have like a photographic memory could probably do something like that. For me, if I tried to do that, I think I would forget too much of what I've already written. Like I think I mentioned one of these books, I'm pretty sure I changed one of the characters' names in the middle and didn't even notice. Just because I don't read for retention incredibly well. So if I'm writing it while I'm reading it, I'm not going to remember everything. And so I think I would have to go back through, if nothing else, just for like um continuity's sake, personally. I wish I could do that and just like crank them out. I everything on my TikTok now is like people who are writing books, or people who like do like cover art for people's books, or there's like a camp here in, or like some group of some sort, and I guess the leaders live here in Maine, and it's called Bad Bitch Book Club, and they just did like a summer camp for book nerds, and they brought a bunch of people here up into northern Maine at some like log cabin, and they did like a whole summer camp thing for adults who like books. So my TikTok is full of all that. And then I've been working on new overlays and stuff, so I keep getting a lot of TikToks of people like who are graphic designers offering like, here's some great font combinations, or here's some great color combos that'll really make your brand pop. And then I'm still getting a bunch of those TikToks where it's like, my dog has cancer. Don't swipe away unless you want her to die. So there's a peek into my my algorithm. Right off their outlines, already an outline that gets more and more detailed in the book. That is, I think, how I probably should be writing. And I think if I were starting from scratch, that's probably what I would try to do. Because that's kind of how I think too. I like the like big picture stuff, and I draw less joy from the sort of like details, fleshing out the like nitty-gritty of it all. Which is probably why I have so many that I started and never finished. And I imagine once I go through all of these ones that I've started, a lot of what's missing is going to be the like descriptive detail, world building, settings, and stuff like that. But I think knowing kind of how my brain works, something like that probably would make sense for me. Yeah, I think I would have that problem too. And I think for me, it's hard to write things if I don't know where they're going. That's the other thing I think I would struggle with, just trying to write once all the way through and just publishing whatever I spit out. If I don't know where the story is like going to end up, I have a hard time figuring out what to say now. So I think having an outline like that would help me kind of pace things in a way that makes sense, but also I'm always been the type of person that, like, if I'm like problem solving, or if I'm trying to, approach something even through like work and not creative stuff, knowing kind of like the end result we're shooting for and then working backwards has been helpful. So I probably would write an outline starting from the end and working my way forward, strangely enough. But that's just me. Baby, that's just me. All right. I think that's all I have to do is just this one homework assignment, which again isn't going to be super time consuming because I've already got most of it done. I just want to go through and kind of I have an A in this class. I'm actually doing really well, even though again I don't know that I could necessarily like spit out a summary of what I've learned. But I'm achieving whatever I'm supposed to achieve in the assignment, so I guess that's good. So I want to make sure that I've been doing that because he gives us a rubric for every assignment, which is very good. I like that. And so I always do a second pass to like point for point. I make sure like, okay, have I done this? Yes. And I'm getting like full points for every. So I might stick with an outline halfway through. I feel like I wanted to get to know the characters for a bit before mapping out where it all ends up. That makes sense. That makes sense. The one thing I've seen some people do that I don't know would work for me is the like web thing. There's probably a name for it. Author web brainstorm, like a mind map kind of thing, where like each of the characters has its own bubble, and then there are bubbles for different like plot points. And I'm glad that works for other people. It looks too messy for me, and it doesn't actually organize things in my mind. I don't know. I don't think it's like a specific tool. Like I don't think there's like a website you can go to specifically to find that. But it's like the title is in the middle, and then each of the main like plot points in the story are like the next set of bubbles, and then there are bubbles around the outside for each of the characters, and it's like each character is connected to each of the plot points that they're like a part of, and they're connected to each other. I don't know. It works for some people clearly, but I don't think it would help me in terms of like actually developing a story. I think too linearly for that. I need things to have a sequence, I think, in order for me to understand them. When it's that complicated. But to each their own. I'm also not the type of person who likes to talk about. Like, I probably won't do a ton of streams where I'm sitting here like working on book stuff, just because like I don't like to talk about it. If that makes sense. At least not until it's closer to done, I think. Because a lot of it I don't know. Like I was talking to Treadmill Boy, and I mentioned that I was doing that, and he was asking all these questions with like not like with ill intent or anything, but like, oh, so like what's it about, and you know, how does it end, blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't really even know yet. I haven't read all of them yet. I don't remember what I wrote. So I think I would probably wait until there's a little bit more to them. But anyway. Right. Or like he was like, well, can you at least tell me like what genre it is? And I was like, no, I don't fucking know. And I'm not someone who's like classically trained. Like I don't know the difference between like horror and thriller, or like suspense, or fantasy versus sci-fi. I couldn't fucking tell you, dude. Like someone else is probably gonna have to tell me what kind of story it is, because I'm not gonna know. I just write things that I like. So it's at least like horror and ambiance, because that's the kind of stuff I like. Beyond that, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, it's fun, even if nothing ever comes of it. Or I think what's more likely is I'm more likely to not necessarily like mass publish it, but I would probably get like a copy of it made for myself, just to have it, to say that I have done this. I don't think it has to be like, I have this tendency, you know, to like turn everything into a project, and turn everything into content, and turn everything into like an endeavor of sorts. And if something like that happens, great. But I think it's okay if it doesn't too. Yeah, I'm not even thinking about any of that stuff yet. Honestly, I think I would probably be more likely to try to publish like the short story stuff first. Because I think that too helps kind of like establish an identity, which is something I think I have right now, as shocking as that might sound. Anyway, let's get some work done. You have a lot of meetings today? Is it a busy day in the sheets? No more oh, that's very exciting. Pants off. Let her rip. Hi, Doxy. Welcome in. How are you, friend? How are you, friend? You know what? Speaking of folks I haven't seen in a hot minute, I sent a snap to Mudkip the other day. I even said that I miss him. And you know what he did? Left me on red. So we won't be doing that again. We will not be making that mistake again. I added a heart emoji and everything. Couldn't be bothered. Couldn't be bothered. Do you know how many people I actually send snaps to? Literally nobody. Literally no one. Timesheet coding analysis? I don't even know what that is. But it sounds very boring. So sorry. I will say that's something, and I am going to start working, I promise. I have Spotify open now, so we're getting there. Um, one thing that this stats class has taught me is that I don't think I'm going to use a ton of the stuff that I'm learning. I hope that I don't, because again, I don't really understand a lot of it, but it does make me realize how many of the companies and organizations I've worked for in the past that make data-driven decisions but don't actually test whether or not the data they have is like statistically significant. Like what I'm learning now about like whether or not the data you have is reliable or whether or not the findings you have are likely due to the thing you're measuring, or are they something that could have happened just randomly by chance too? Like the statistical kind of impact or significance of what your data tells you. No one's doing that. No one I've worked with is doing that. They're literally just throwing a graph together and saying, "Oh, look, it worked." And attributing whatever it is that happened to the thing that they implemented. So like implementing like new policies or like piloting a new program or making changes to, whatever. If the numbers change after that decision happens, they just assume it's because of that, not because of any other variable that might exist. So I'm learning all this stuff, but in my head I'm thinking none of the companies I've ever worked with actually do any of this. So even if I get a job doing something with this element to it, I don't think they're going to let me like say, well, our p-value was too low. Therefore, we cannot with 100% certainty say that correlation does equal causation in this case. It's like the example of like shark attacks and ice cream sales are tied together. They're correlated, but it's not because so many people are buying ice cream that there are more shark attacks. It's because it's hotter and therefore more people are swimming and buying ice cream. But if you just look at those two data points, you might make that like assumption that they cause each other. So all I can think about is like all the decisions and things, like laying people off, for example, that have been made based on like correlated data that isn't necessarily pointing to causation. But I'm also not sure that I understand this stuff well enough that I would be able to make that case to somebody who knows what they're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of scary to think like, especially when I was working in like the private sector in the tech world, everything was data driven. Everything was, we look at the data, we look at the numbers, and that's what drives. It's not emotional. We don't, let our feelings get in the way. It's we look at the numbers and make decisions based on that. And it's like, well, yes. And it's important to make sure you actually know what the numbers are telling you. And it's important to acknowledge and understand that like as human beings, and especially in like a business setting where we're motivated to drive certain results, you might be consciously or unconsciously motivated to like kind of bend the numbers to say what you want them to say, or you're inclined to like structure the way that you kind of examine that data in such a way that it gives you the result you're looking for. So I don't know. It's been in the lightning course. I don't understand why this is the first class they're making me take. I don't know that that's I don't think um I don't think everybody takes this class first. I think it might just be because that's the class that is available this like mod, but it's interesting. I'm glad I'm taking it, but I don't know that I would have preferred it to be my next class is going to be Intro to Project Management, which is what the program is. So I am excited for the next class, and hopefully it won't be quite as math heavy. Where's my co-working playlist? Oh, that one. Nope, not that one. Did it not save it? We didn't have mega corporations surviving on government subsidies. We'd probably have smaller companies capable of understanding things like this, out competing them like that. Yeah. Well, and the thing is that we often do, but then because they're smaller, the bigger companies just buy them out. The company that laid me off is doing that right now. Like they're becoming kind of one of the big players in the space that we worked in. And every like 3 or 4 months, they announce that they've like acquired some other company. And it's always a company that, if left alone, probably would have grown to the point where it would have competed with our company, because they did some small part of what we do, but much better. And so instead of like competing with them, they just buy them out. That's what Google does. I mean, that's what all of the big companies do, because they've got so much capital to throw around. That's how Amazon functions. Amazon runs a deficit on a lot of the products that they sell, because they can afford to, and then they can like squash any competition. That's how they became such a giant in books at first. Amazon used to just be for books. You would buy books on there, and gradually they just moved into more and more different kind of verticals by adopting this model where they just choke out any competition by undercutting them. I probably could have gotten, because it just was Prime Day as well, which is like 3 days now. But I probably could have gotten a cheaper PC if I had ordered on Prime, but I didn't want to give them my money. Sucks. It feels like as consumers, we're given the illusion of choice, but in so many ways, those choices are sort of made for us, and making like sustainable, ethical, moral, community-minded decisions with our money becomes really, really difficult, and becomes kind of a privilege. I get my groceries at Walmart because it's the cheapest place. I can get groceries delivered by Walmart, and it costs me the price of the groceries plus $9.95 and then a tip for the driver. If I went through Instacart, it would cost me about $40 or $50 more each time I got groceries, simply because they mark everything up. If I could afford to, when I could afford to, I was using Instacart because I wanted to support like my local grocery stores instead, but that's not an option for me at the time. At this juncture, and there are a lot of other folks who are in far worse positions, financially than that are, forced to buy what they can get. Get inexpensive groceries from an employee. Love that. Love that. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting to work. I cannot find I had a good playlist of like stuff that wasn't getting me in trouble with Twitch, but I can't find it. I don't know if I deleted it or if I just never saved like that playlist to my library, and it's been long enough now that there's other stuff that knocked it off of my like most recent. But we're gonna try this one. It's Co-working Music 2025, Soho House, WeWork. Oh, these are like for co-working spaces. Let me know what y'all think. Oh, not that. Nope. Today might be the day that we find out whether or not I successfully split my audio. We'll see if this part of my stream gets muted. Done. Now the fun one. Now we apply for jobs. Yeah. I had a meeting today with some of the people I used to work with. We like have a call every couple months just to like touch base. And our old supervisor has like 6 jobs. The rest of us are struggling to find one, and she's like rolling in jobs right now. But she lives in Brooklyn, so like there are just a lot more jobs available to her too. But she always asks us like so she can keep an eye out for jobs that might be interesting to us. She'll ask us like, "Well, what are you looking for?" And like, "What kind of roles can I like be looking for?" And I was like, at this point, literally anything that I can do remotely. If I'm remotely qualified and if I can do it from home, I will throw an application in. Send it my way. Truly, the bar is underground at this point. I've managed to get my expenses down so far that I genuinely think that if I could find like a full-time, even like minimum wage, it would be tight and it wouldn't be ideal, but I'd be able to keep a roof over my head and I'd be able to keep my dog fed, which are really the only 2 things I'm worried about right now. I would be able to scrape by until I finish this program and could start applying for jobs with the benefit of having a master's. Well, yeah, that would be ideal. I would love to get something super cool working with a company that's like doing something I'm really passionate about. And I'm at the point now where like I don't need that. I'm desperate enough that it doesn't have to be that. I'm pretty sure that for the next like year and a half or however long this schooling takes me, I can tolerate pretty much anything. Like I don't want to go back to working in a call center, for example, but knowing that it wouldn't be like my forever job, I think I'd be able to kind of get it out a little bit. It's just so hard because like everybody wants a remote job right now. That's what everybody's applying for, and um, there are like fewer and fewer of those jobs too. We'll see. Perfect world. I'd love to get a project manager job now that I then could, when I have the master's degree, like make the case for a promotion or a raise or something. But again, we can't be picky right now. American boy. I feel like if this was playing in like a WeWork or a co-working space that I was at, it would make me sleepy. Like I would just curl up on the couch with my cheap free coffee or tea. This job only has one required skill listed and it just says Gen Z. I don't think they mean you need to be Gen Z. It's like you're managing like an ambassador program for this company, specifically recruiting college students. So I think it means that you need to be able to like engage with Gen Z. It's weird how in like the professional world, and I don't know if this is the way it's always been and I'm just noticing it because it's not my generation they're talking to, but the way people treat Gen Z like they're a different species. Like I've seen job postings and like the way some companies talk about Gen Z, it's like they think they speak a different language. And in a lot of ways they kind of do, but like they talk about reaching Gen Z like they talk about being able to like communicate with Spanish speaking customers. Like as though you need to be able to um like it's a bilingual thing. Like you've got to be able to speak Gen Z. And I feel like when you try that to do that too hard, it's you're trying too hard and they can tell. It's like when I do like my campus drag shows and I try to like talk like a Gen Zer, which pretty much means I just say shit I hear on Fortnite. They know that that's not how you normally talk. Like they know that that's not who you are and that you're trying to be something you're not. Did I apply to that job anyway? Yes, I did. I surely did. Yeah, it was a greenhouse application. If it had been Workday, we would not have done it. But greenhouse is pretty easy to use, and it's fast. I just got gifted not gifted. I got approved for a key for a game to stream. I don't remember applying for this one. Let them trade. Yeah, I'm kind of Gen Z. If I have an edible, I kind of sound like I'm Gen Z. I think I can communicate with the locals, you know. Let them trade. I do not remember asking for this. Let's take a look at this together. This is the game I just got a key for. But again, I don't remember. I don't remember asking. Let me know. This feels like something you would probably play, Razor. Why is it so low quality? There we go.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Let Them Trade. In this video, we'd like to introduce you to some of the core mechanics that you will encounter while playing our game. Let Them Trade is a relaxing city builder where you build up a tiny board game-like world right on your living room table.
This looks like Catan.
The world economy takes center stage here. While you are put in the role of city planner and decide where to place buildings, the cities you build will all trade independently from your actions. This means your economic skills and strategic thinking will be put to the test as you try to satisfy supply and demand of various resources and keep the delicate market balance in check. Being able to make well-planned decisions and keeping a busy economy will ensure steady growth of your kingdom. The castle serves as your player hub and stronghold, and you can buy and store resources to use or sell them to other cities at a later time. When you see a resource being traded for cheap, it's usually a good idea to stock up. There might be random events that trigger a need for a certain resource, so it's always good to keep an extra stock on hand. On the world map, you will find different colored tiles that correspond to different resources. The gray colored tiles are yet unexplored, so send out your knight to go expand the borders of your kingdom.
This could be fun. I wonder if this is multi.
To start collecting resources, you need to place the right
It'd be fun to
buildings
play
on the
this with other
corresponding
people.
tiles while being connected to a city center. As you go, you will need to research more specialized buildings, so head on over to the research center to find loads of buildings to grow your cities with.
This is like Catan meets like
Of course, not everything in your
SimCity
kingdom
or-
will always go according to plan.
the Civilization games.
Sometimes, bandit gangs are on the prowl and will rob your traders of their precious cargo. If that happens, send out your knight to teach those guys some manners. Your knight can be equipped with different kinds of soldiers to help them defeat the rowdy bandits, and the more retinue you have, the easier it will be to send those guys packing for good.
Let the horses just riding right through the fight.
While you're trading and expanding your world, it's good to be able to keep a close eye on things. If you ever want a more detailed view on what your traders are doing, make sure to turn on Detailed UI mode.
I do not remember requesting this.
The world of Let Them Trade can be enjoyed in the sandbox mode with a fully customizable map. But there's also different campaign chapters where you try to complete certain objectives. The eccentric king is always on the lookout for some crafty city planners for his various endeavors. So now you know a little bit more about the wonderful world of Let Them Trade. Thank you for watching this far, and we hope you join us for our release on the 24th of July. Until then, feel free to check out our press kit or join our Discord and ask us any questions. See you soon!
Interesting. Yeah, I don't remember asking for this. Looks like it could be fun. It does look like it's only single player. At least on launch. It doesn't say whether I can play it ahead of time, though. The key probably doesn't work until then. And it doesn't really say specifically what the, like, deliverables are. Oh, the 21st. I'll think about it. We'll think. Hi, CK. Thank you for snatching that crown. How are you, friends? I'd have to work with high school students at this job, and I'm not sure if that's worth it. I know I said I'm looking to do pretty much anything at this point, but I guess I really can't be picky, can I? Kiki, I hope you're doing well. I don't know if you're still in chat. I haven't really talked to you since Pride. Look at me, I'm happy. Oh, pet peeve. I hate when people list a job and call it remote, but say you have to live in a certain like city or within a certain distance of a certain like state or city. That's not remote. It's not remote if I have to live in Tampa. That's not how that works. That's not what that word means. I know. You want me to move to Florida? I don't know. I don't know. Tampa's not far from where I was born, actually. Did y'all see the shit with the Backstreet Boy? He bought like property somewhere in Florida, and he's mad because the cops won't stop people from trespassing on his beach. And he made some social media post about it, and he called it the Gulf of America. He talked about buying property on the Gulf of America, and now people are like roasting him. Kind of funny. He's also the one who has like no voice now. He had something happen to him, and his voice is like gone. But he's still performing. They have like a residency at that the globe, the orb. What is that? The sphere. Sorry. I knew I was close. They have like a residency at the sphere, and I think they just turn his microphone off. They've like work around him now, so he still gets to perform with them, but his voice is Brian Luttrell. That's his name. He's suing the sheriff's office over beachgoers at his oceanfront home. We are not looking to harm anyone. We just want our property back. Yeah. He says that beachgoers were trespassing on his oceanfront property and the sheriff's office failed to remove them. He's suing them through his LLC. He's attempted to deter people from entering by placing no trespassing signs and marking the property line with chairs, small tables, and umbrellas. Girl. Under Florida law, any sand on a beach below the high tide watermark is considered public. Homeowners with oceanfront property own the sand down to the average high water line, although some counties have passed local ordinances that allow the public to have access to the entire beach. You have to be. Does this guy have nothing better to do right now? He says trespassers have allegedly damaged his property, and they've been forced to hire private security. I feel like this is just, I mean, for whether or not it's right, this is just going to cause more people to do this. More people are going to show up on your beach now. Because now more people know that there's a Backstreet Boy who lives there. Like, instead of just random people who want to use the beach, it's going to be Backstreet Boys fans who are trying to catch a peek. That's so wild. But he's 50 years old. Wow. I guess that's not a surprise, but that's so wild. To have those sorts of problems. Now, what happened to his voice? Muscle tension dysphonia and dystonia. So it's a neurological issue affecting the vocal cords and the surrounding muscles that have made his voice strained and sometimes leading to vocal spasms. Particularly in his lower vocal range. still raking in the money though, so good for him. Yeah, anyway, I heard about that because he made it, I think it was a tweet maybe, where he talked about buying property on the Gulf of America. And people took that to mean he's a Trump supporter, which I think he probably is. Yum. I had kind of a BLT. I used to do, I think I've talked about this. When I was doing like CrossFit with Jared pretty regularly, we did a lot of like paleo, low carb, whatever. And we used to do these like BLT boats where instead of bread, we would take like a romaine lettuce leaf and you put like chop up your tomatoes, put it in there, little chopped up bacon, a little bit of, I use Miracle Whip. Apparently that's a controversial decision. I've never been a mayonnaise person. I grew up eating Miracle Whip. I didn't even know that there was a difference between Miracle Whip and mayonnaise. When I was a kid, I used to throw away jars of mayonnaise because I thought it was Miracle Whip that had gone bad. So I've always been a Miracle Whip girly. So you drizzle a little of that on top. BLT without the bread. So I had that for lunch today. Sometimes I'll put like some avocado in there too. Just mayo with sugar. I'm not even sure. I was just thinking about that. I don't really even know what the difference is. What's the difference between mayo? Probably. Where I grew up, everybody used Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip is a salad dressing, not technically mayonnaise by FDA standards. That can't be good. With added sugar, spices, and water, giving it a sweeter, tangier, and thinner consistency. That's what I like about it. Is I don't like how thick mayonnaise is. Something about that doesn't sit well with me. So Miracle Whip has like a lower oil content because of like the sugar and spices, and it's labeled as a dressing because it has less than 65% vegetable oil. Now we know. Now we know. Can't shine as bright as you. Some of these jobs have the most massive salary range listed. Like, girl, at that point, don't bother listing it. Like, like I'm not applying to this one, but this job is listed. The range is from about $50,000 a year to $145,000 a year. Like, what's the reason? There's no way that you're willing to hire someone at both of those points. There's no way that you have that sort of leeway. The budget is not that big or that broad. Just say this is what we're looking to hire someone at. Why is that so hard? Save us all some time. Hi, Shez. I'm good. How are you? Welcome in. A little late lunch. Love that. Love that. Almost done with amen. Amen. I can't believe it's already Thursday. My work week is a little bit kind of backwards. I work mostly early mornings on the weekends. So it's like this is kind of my weekend, but at least I get to work from home. I can't complain too much. Mm-hmm. Especially now when they're like, I work very part-time. Do call center. Oh, I used to manage a call center for Time Warner Cable. So I feel that. I feel that. I'm just working a seasonal job and part-time right now, so it's not too bad, but I'm also looking for something full-time. I used to manage a call center. There were about 200 agents, and we were doing retention for Time Warner Cable. So folks were calling in to like cancel their services or lower their bill. And we also supported, I don't even know if they still have it, but they had like we weren't supposed to call it a security system. It was like a home management system, but it was a security system, and you could also like connect your lights and things to it. But it never worked. And we were responsible for retaining that too. So people would call in and be like, hey, my system's not even working. So how am I supposed to trust you if someone tries to break in? And it was our job to try to talk them into not canceling with us. It was such a nightmare. But I got to do some cool stuff. I got to travel. I got my passport because of working for that company. So I got to go help like stand up new locations, and I was one of the only people on our team that knew the billing systems all that well. So whenever they needed someone to go teach people how to like actually use the computer systems, I was the one who had to do it. Yeah. Insurance is so, first off, it's unnecessarily complicated. So it's one of those things that like nobody really understands what they're signing up for. Nobody really understands what they have or what they're like paying for. Or they think they do, but they don't. hmm I feel like a lot of health insurance, it's like defaults to no. There's so many, I feel like, stories I've heard where people are like, they need something. It is very clearly a need. Their doctor agrees that they need it, but the health insurance company gets to decide whether or not they actually get it. And the default answer is a no, and so you have to fight for it. I bet. I bet. That's how I feel about the call center stuff I did too. Like when people talk about, oh, well, they don't have any, like, they can just lower your bill and they choose not to. No, it doesn't work like that. I promise you, there are people like, if I could just lower your bill and get you off the phone, I would. But it's messy and complicated, and it feels like that's by design. Like it's intentionally complicated so that people get frustrated and just give up and keep paying. I'm sure. I'm sure. I don't understand insurance. I don't have insurance right now, but I've never understood. Same with like I've worked places where I have like stock options and things. I don't understand how any of that works either. Most of like the benefits that come with like a standard like grown-up job, I got nothing. But at this point, I got laid off in February of 2023. It's been almost 2.5 years now. I was working in tech and I got laid off. So I've been looking for a full-time job for like 2.5 years now because my background is in DEI and that has pretty much disappeared at this point. There aren't really any jobs out there in DEI. So at this point, I'm willing to take pretty much anything I can do remotely. Even like call center stuff if that's what I have to do. But even call center jobs, there's so many people who want to work remotely now that I haven't even been able to get interviews for stuff like that. I keep telling myself that it's because I'm overqualified, but I think it's just that there's so many people who are applying. hmm And I feel like it's at the point now where like you don't even hear about it if you get rejected anymore. Like I've applied for probably 10 jobs today. If I hear anything at all from like two of them, that would be like a good day. I've stopped keeping track of even how many. I used to have a spreadsheet that I would put every single job in, but it's easily in the thousands, I'm sure now. It's wild. I literally just scroll through LinkedIn and like anything that I'm qualified for, that I'm able to do remotely, we apply. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is a part-time job, but it's only a summer job and it's remote. So I'm still looking for something full-time. The job I'm working now is just through the summer, and it's so August 31st will be my last day. And that's kind of how I've made it for the last 2.5 years, has been like piecing it together with I've done some consulting stuff, like freelance contractor stuff. I've had a couple of these like part-time seasonal jobs, but I haven't had a full-time job. And then like streaming, and I'm a drag queen, so I get like gigs and things, but so that's why I don't have insurance or anything like that, because I haven't had a full-time job since 2023. And what I do now is kind of call center too. It's like I work for a company that it's a mentorship program for high school students, and over the summer they send these students out to on experiences. So it could be like a volunteer thing. A bunch of them right now are going out to help clean up beaches in like Puerto Rico. It could be academic in nature. So some of them go to college campuses and take like summer courses. And so I'm working to help staff their like on call line. So if they have trouble, if they miss their flight, if they're just homesick, they call this number and we help them. But that only happens over the summer. So right now I'm looking for something that I can start September 1st, ideally full time. And again, pretty much anything as long as I can do it remotely. I feel like a lot of the jobs that I'm seeing, even like the customer service type stuff, it's all in healthcare and they want you to have healthcare experience. And I don't really have that. Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of folks got to work remotely through, like peak pandemic through lockdown. And now that more and more organizations are making people come back into the office, less of us want to actually do that. So there are a lot of folks looking for it. And the folks who have remote jobs aren't leaving even if they're not happy because they're willing to put up with it since they have a remote job. And just with everything that's happening in the country right now and the economy, I think there are a lot of folks who are just kind of hanging tight where they are, even if it's not what makes them happy. But yeah, for sure. And I get it. Like, I want to work remotely too. Yeah, all these jobs want me to have like healthcare billing experience. I'm sure I could learn it. Like, no, I haven't done it before, but I like to think of myself as intelligent. Yeah. I worked in HR in the DEI like space, and a lot of the research and data that we have from that time, employee satisfaction was really high. People were able to work more comfortably. They were saving time, they were saving money. Folks who were like caregivers were less like stretched. And from like a DEI perspective, uh, employees experienced less like harassment and discrimination because they didn't have to like physically share spaces with people who make shitty jokes or like offhand comments and stuff. But all of these companies have real estate. That's what a lot of it comes down to. I know with the company that laid me off, that was what it was. They had just like bought half of the building that we were in and expanded an extra like 3 floors. And so they had all this liability. They had all this property that nobody was using. And so for them it was like, we have to make you come back in. There's like this sense that people aren't getting work done if they're working remotely. The data doesn't necessarily support that on like a large scale either, but yeah, exactly. Even little stuff like that, like being able to like utilize your time more wisely, or you don't have to factor in things like a commute. And especially like the company I worked with, our home base was in Denver, but we also had offices in San Francisco and New York. And those are all really expensive cities. So most of the employees who I worked with, which was like our customer service team, they don't make enough to live in New York City or in Denver or in San Francisco. They're living an hour away from town and commuting in. So by being able to work remotely or even hybrid, like a lot of our staff would come in like 1 day or 2 days a week. They saved hours per day just not commuting or riding the train or driving. Like, yeah, that too. It's all kinds of stuff like that. And that's why it was always so weird to me when the company would like we would put out like blog posts or send like newsletters to the staff hyping up like the value of working in an in-person collaboration. And it's like none of us are buying that. Like if you have to be in person to collaborate, you're not leaning in enough to what remote can look like. Like you can collaborate just as well remotely as you can in person. If you need to physically see me in order to work with me, that's a you thing, not like a benefit to in-person collaboration. What we did see was that folks who worked in the office got promoted more because they had more face time. But that doesn't mean that they were better at their jobs. That just meant that they were more familiar to their supervisors and the leaders. So that was more of an issue than it was like a benefit. But yeah, there are a lot of benefits to being able to work remotely for the company and for the employee. But they don't want to talk about that. We found a DEI job. I feel like I've seen this before, so I think this is one of those sometimes companies will post a job with no intention of filling it, but they just keep like reposting it over and over again. I feel like this might be one of those. This company name looks very familiar. And a lot of DEI roles, they do that, where they just keep reposting it over and over again. I'm going to apply again anyway, though, because it also says only 58 other people have applied for it. So I keep looking at the job description, trying to figure out why. Why has nobody else applied for this yet? But it says remote. Oh, maybe because the application link is broken. Well, let's save that one and come back to it. I will say too, Razor, if you're still in chat, I still keep getting tons of jobs that are based in your area, not to dox you. Constant. How's your analysis coming along? You still doing those like little snack plate things? I've been craving Chipotle. Like a good burrito bowl. I don't blame you. That sounds boring as hell. I don't blame you. That sounds boring as hell. I'm starting to lose steam on these jobs. They're all starting to blur and look the same to me now. So we might wrap up this portion. I don't know if we'll play a game. Every time I play Overwatch lately, it's been kind of a buzzkill. This song is a throwback. This is one of the songs, not to dox or like age myself. We used to scream this on the school bus. This and like what's his name? What's Uncle Cracker? Follow me. Oh. Except we had one bus driver who would never play that. She only would ever play Christian music. But if we had any other bus driver, oh yeah. Really leaning into that like vocal fry. Ugh. Who was this? Broughton. All right, we're gonna check out this other website. See if there's anything. I'm kind of pissed because I paid for a year of flex jobs, which is where I found my last full-time job. And I don't know if it's just because there are less jobs in general or what, but I haven't been able to find anything on this website the last like 3 times I looked. And that I've been looking for like DEI stuff, project management stuff, customer service stuff, nothing. Like even all the listings are like a month old. Not usually Razor, because I'm not in a position to move across the country either. It depends. A lot of them are like hybrid, and a lot of them don't necessarily specify what their hybrid arrangement looks like. So it really depends. If it's like just a kind of entry level thing, not so much because those tend to be less flexible. But there have been a couple like DEI or HR, L&D is another one that I kind of look at. and there's sometimes more flexibility with those. I would be willing to do something where like I start remote with the plan to like relocate within the first year or whatever. I'm really hesitant to relocate for a job at all just because I've been laid off enough times that I don't want to relocate for a company and then have them fire me or lay me off. Like that's what my last job almost did to me. They really wanted me to move to Denver, and I almost did. I was half convinced. If I had known that Jared was going to move out so soon after I got laid off, I might have, but then I would have gotten a place in Denver, which would be, I'm sure, not cheap. And then I would be in the same position I'm in now, but with, 3 times the bills. So I'm a little nervous at the concept of relocating for a job, but it's not it's not a hard no. Yeah. Like I said, I can't really be picky right now, but I can't really imagine how I would move across the country right now. It would have to be a job that offers like assistance with relocation, which is also pretty rare. So I've heard. I would be very open to it for the right role. And if I didn't have the dog, I wouldn't even necessarily need to do that. Like I wouldn't have a problem with just moving and, hoping for the best, but I do have to take care of the dog too, so. Not that he's anywhere to be found right now. I don't even know where he went. Probably on Jared's bed. It's so wild. Um, the like very northern part of the state right now is under like a tornado warning, and people are losing their shit. Like obviously it's that serious, but people are acting like there's a once in a generation flood coming their way. And there's really not much up there anyway. So even if a tornado happens, which is very rare in Maine, they're rarely big and they're rarely last for long at all. And they almost always just go through the woods somewhere. But people are panicking like someone's sending a tornado directly for their home. a bunch of the people that I used to work with, the people I had that call with today, they're all moving to Spain. And they told me that that's what I should do. Maybe I should do that. Someone I used to work with at the last full-time job I had, the one I got laid off from, she moved to Ireland. She and her wife moved to Ireland. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are doing that right now, or planning on it. I have kind of mixed feel. I think we've talked about this before. I feel like a lot of things would be different if I didn't have the dog and if I didn't feel like I needed to stay here to take care of my like mom, for example. But if something came up, I think I would be able to leave my mom because I've got the rest of my siblings are here. But I did commit to having taking care of the dog, so thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. As much as I think my life would be easier if I didn't have the dog to worry about. I don't like when I make a commitment. I do everything I can to hold up my end of the bargain. Let's work for Under Armour. Oh, never mind. That job has been filled. They literally posted it 2 days ago, and the link already says this job has been filled. We need to add adventure. Well, he's so reactive. I don't know. He probably would be able to handle it better than I give him credit for. But the idea of bringing him someplace new feels so intimidating. And I would be by myself. And as it is, it's hard for me to leave him here without having to crate him. So it feels like a lot of the issues that I have here, I would still have with him somewhere else. But if I had a full-time job, I could also probably afford to hire someone to work with us. Because I think some of what he's going through, like a someone who knows what they're doing, a dog trainer would be able to help us kind of work through some of that with him. And to the point where maybe he could be home by himself more often, but not in the budget right now. Big surprise. That was part of the plan before I got laid off. We adopted Goose in November. I got laid off in February. And that spring we were gonna get someone to come work with us. But be brave if your heart is calling you to. I don't think it's a matter of, I mean, for me at least, I don't think it's a matter of like bravery. It's practicality. Like, I literally can't afford to move right now. I would be willing to do it. I'd be willing to try. But I'm like literally a few months away from not being able to afford to live here anymore. So the idea of like packing up and starting over somewhere else isn't really an option right now. That's why the PC was such a scary purchase. But it also feels like that was something I had to do in order to even keep doing what I'm doing now. Even a lot of this like call center customer service stuff, they want you to be bilingual. I'm not even qualified for some of that. I don't know, girl. And again, right now I'm not even necessarily like, if I find something that's like permanent long term, great. But I really only need something that'll get me through until I finish this degree, and then I can be looking for something that might be a little more long term. I'm not gonna say that. Like, if I get an interview, I'm not gonna tell them that I'm only planning on being there for a year or two. But my next job doesn't have to be my last job. All right, I gotta take a break. I gotta go to the bathroom. When I come back, I'll probably do a little bit more job application, but I can tell I'm like losing steam. So I don't know if we'll play a game today or if we'll just kind of call it there, but we'll figure it out when I get back. Hang tight. Love you, mean it. With deep gratitude and great humility, I accept your nomination to run for President of the United States. Let the race begin. What? Oh, what am I gonna do with a baseball? I'm gay. Now a brick Happy Pride Month. What? What? I get on my knees. Oh!
It feels like home. Oh.
Let us pray.
Let us not. Did he just say he's become friends with school shooters? Do you think those are all his real teeth? Y'all ever had spicy milk? They call me a raggedy busted demon with a sinful nature and a soul damned to hell.
Bam!
Ow! I mean, ow. I'm not wearing panties. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I have to go! I have to go!
It's clobbering time.
Do you feel more powerful? Do you feel more influential? Do you feel more like visiting your local neighborhood glory hole than you did 3 minutes and 5 seconds ago? Because I do. With deep gratitude and great humility, I accept your nomination to run for President of the United States. Let the race begin. What? Oh, what am I gonna do with a baseball? I'm gay. Now a brick. Happy Pride Month. What? What? I get on my knees. Oh!
It feels like home. Oh.
Let us pray.
Let us not. Did he just say he's become friends with school shooters? Do you think those are all his real teeth? Y'all ever had spicy milk? They call me a raggedy busted demon with a sinful nature and a soul damned to hell.
Bam!
Ow! I mean, ow. I'm not wearing panties. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I have to go! I have to go!
It's clobbering time.
Do you feel more powerful? Do you feel more influential? Do you feel more like visiting your local neighborhood glory hole than you did 3 minutes and 5 seconds ago? Because I do. With deep gratitude and great humility, I accept your nomination to run for President of the United States. Let the race begin. What? Oh, what am I gonna do with a baseball? I'm gay. Now a brick. Happy Pride Month. What? What? I get on my knees. Oh!
It feels like home. Oh.
Let us pray.
Let us not. Did he just say he's become friends with school shooters? Do you think those are all his real teeth? Y'all ever had spicy milk? They call me a raggedy busted demon with a sinful nature and a soul damned to hell.
Bam!
Ow! I mean, ow. I'm not wearing panties. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I have to go! I have to go!
It's clobbering time.
Do you feel more powerful? Do you feel more influential? Do you feel more like visiting your local neighborhood glory hole than you did 3 minutes and 5 seconds ago? Because I do. With deep gratitude and great humility, I accept your nomination to run for President of the United States. Let the race begin. What? Oh, what am I gonna do with a baseball? I'm gay. Now a brick. Happy Pride Month. What? What? I get on my knees. Oh!
It feels like home. Oh.
Let us pray.
Let us not. Did he just say he's become friends with school shooters? Do you think those are all his real teeth? Y'all ever had spicy milk? They call me a raggedy busted demon with a sinful nature and a soul damned to hell.
Bam!
mean, ow. I'm not wearing panties. Oh.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
It's clobbering time.
Do you feel more powerful? Do you feel more influential? Do you feel more like visiting your local neighborhood glory hole than you did 3 minutes and 5 seconds ago? Because I do. With deep gratitude and great humility, I accept your nomination to run for president of the United States. All right. We're back. I think what I'll do is we've got like 15 minutes until it's 5 my time. So I think I'll go ahead and grind out some more of these applications. Thank you. Until about then. I think that sounds like a decent plan. I just feel like eventually at one point I'm going through jobs that I've already seen. And if I didn't apply for them back then, there was probably a reason, you know? Goose is starting to get kind of stir crazy anyway, so. I wish he would come out here and sit with me. But no. But what I probably will do for folks who'll be around later, I'll probably play games or something in the Discord later, or maybe watch a movie or something. Because I'm done with homework now. I don't work tomorrow. I just have his appointment, so. I would really like to at least get an interview for one of these project manager jobs. Because I've never interviewed for that kind of job before, and so I'm not really sure what to expect. And I think that would be really helpful in learning how to like tailor my resume and apply for more, even if I don't get like another interview with that job. I think that would be helpful moving forward. I hate when they ask you why you want to join their company. Because I want a paycheck. Because I have bills to pay and I need money. What do you mean? You think I have a deep passion for omni-channel engagement tools? Spoiler, I don't. Like, I'm sure it's a great company, but like I feel like a lot of applications are built from this like kind of old school perspective of like people want to spend their whole career with one company, so that people are applying for companies and not for the job itself, and it's just not the case. Like, I haven't been waiting my whole life for a job at this company to open up. I promise. Right, like I don't think the fact that I haven't been waiting my whole life for the opportunity to apply for a job at this company means that I'm less qualified to do this job, you know? Hi, Wheels. No, I haven't reached out to anybody because I don't want anybody to feel like they have to give me one. I don't know how it works. I don't know, like, if people only get a certain number of them or anything like that. So I don't want anybody to feel like. But I do think gaggle is something that our community would really like to do. Maybe I'll DM her though. This is also like a customer service role that I'm applying for. So, like, not to say that there isn't an impact you make as a customer service, but like, I don't think, if we're being honest with ourselves, that anybody who works in customer service is doing so because it's their passion in life. Certainly not like frontline. Maybe if you're like a customer, like you're like the head of customer experience for, like, you're in like a strategy role maybe. But nobody's like nobody gets out of bed every day thinking, I'm so excited to get on the phone and take phone calls from customers who probably are gonna yell at me. Like, yeah, I know a few people who are partners, but again, there's no real information on their website about how that works. Um, so I know Avidius works with that or has one too, so I don't know. I always feel weird reaching out and asking people for things, but I should probably just get over that. The worst they can do is say no, right? In Las Vegas. Oh, that's exciting. I've already seen like pictures and things. That looks really cool. I hope you have so much fun. That's very exciting. She puts on such a good show. Even like her like bad shows. Even if she's having an off day, she's so good. Friends just that's exciting. The tour like just kicked off, right? Isn't Vegas the first city? I didn't bother looking because I knew that there was no way I was gonna get. If she even comes in here, I think Boston might be the closest she probably will get. Yeah, it just started yesterday. And she's not even coming to Boston. I'd have to go to New York. But I would. If I could, that's probably, if I could only ever go to like one big concert, I would probably pick her. I would probably pick Gaga. 27 songs? Holy shit. It's a marathon, honey. She will be in Barcelona on my birthday, so if anybody happens to be thinking of gifts for me already for my birthday, That's something to consider. I would even let you come with me. I hear Barcelona's beautiful in the fall. I know, you're welcome. Benevolent is a word I often hear used to describe me. Oh, I'm sure they do. I've been seeing a lot of articles too about like specifically like American tourists abroad. There are a lot of folks I know who are like planning to move to Europe, or they're planning trips now to like scout out places that they might want to move because nobody wants to live here anymore. Canada, there's like a court case in Canada right now where their like immigration enforcement arrested or detained a non-binary American and were trying to deport them back to the United States. And so the case like alleges that that person didn't adequately consider how conditions are for trans and non-binary people in the United States right now before making that decision. So the decision on this case could open up a broader pathway basically for trans and non-binary folks in the United States to seek asylum in Canada. We were talking about that earlier too. I'm kind of torn. Like, I don't fault anybody for wanting to leave, and if they've got the means to do so, by all means. But there's also a part of me that's like, what about the people who can't leave? Like, I wouldn't want to leave them behind. So I don't think I would probably move. And I mean, I guess never say never, but I have always wanted to visit Iceland, and something makes me feel like I would really like it there. Maybe it's just because I have yet to see an unattractive man who lives in Iceland. Is that part of it? Maybe. I don't know. I'm no scientist. It probably doesn't hurt though. I don't know. What time is Beth streaming? Beth has her like tournament today, I think. I don't think it says in her Discord. I think she only said on TikTok maybe. Or she's in a Marvel Rivals tournament. I think it's some big streamer who's putting it on, and she like got picked to be one of the content creators in this tournament. Very exciting. This says they have a strong preference for people who live in Iowa or Wisconsin, but I am going to apply anyway. Surely they'll make an exception for me. This application has a field that says preferred last name, and it's a required field. I don't know that I've ever heard of somebody with a preferred last name. I keep getting excited because there's so many emails I'm getting notifications for, but I'm realizing that they're all just notifications for all the applications I've submitted. None of these are people offering me a job. They're all just... I've applied for 15 jobs today, though. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Enjoy. Have so much fun. Make good choices. Or don't. I guess that's up to you. I do like this playlist. It's kind of fun. Again, I think that if I were in an actual co-working space, this would make me sleepy, but... All right, I'm going to finish this application and then we're going to call it. It is a bop. You can tell some of these websites they're using are so outdated. This website looks like Oregon Trail. I had an application a couple days ago that explicitly said dial-up internet would not be acceptable. And I know that there are still places where that's all you can get, but I feel like that's not why it was on there. I feel like it was on there because they haven't updated their application since dial-up was a more common occurrence. That is one thing I usually have going for me. When I do interviews, like when I interviewed with LL Bean, they were like, well, does your computer meet all these requirements? And do you have like internet this speed or whatever? And I sent them the screenshot of my speed test. I get like, I'm streaming right now, so it might not. Yeah, I'm getting like 300 megs download right now while I've got OBS and all these tabs open, half a dozen things open. And almost 900 upload. Like, I promise you, whatever systems you need me to use, I can do it. They're always impressed that I have more than one monitor and that I have an actual PC and not just a laptop. Like, I know I can do these jobs. I just need you to give me them. There's this person who keeps coming up on my TikTok, and I don't know how real it is. There are a lot of people on there who talk about like remote and work from home stuff, and it feels a lot like an MLM, and I wonder how much of it's actually true. But there's this one woman who she posts all the time, and she comes up. I'm not following her, but she still shows up on my feed, and she says that she has 2 full-time work from home jobs, and she works both of them at the same time, and she has 2 PCs, and she like shows like a day in the life, and she's like bouncing back and forth. And I'm like, you greedy bitch. Let me have one of those jobs. But she never says what she does. She talks like in general terms, but she never says like the name of the company or what specifically her job is. This is such a long application. What the hell? Unnecessarily. And this is one of those ones where it doesn't parse out my resume the right way. So I have to go back in and like re-enter all my work experience. Done. Done and dusted. I didn't post a new TikTok. Not the weird notification in Discord saying that I posted a TikTok when I did not. A little scary. Hi, Miles. On the way to karate. Is that a new thing? Well, it's good to see you. We're literally just wrapping up. Right, I used to take Taekwondo when I was a kid. My sister was my instructor. Oh! Started in November. Love that. So you're a black belt now. She's a professional. Love that. Well, good for you. And we're doing this from the same branch as Taekwondo. Love that. I think I made it to an orange belt. And then my sister stopped working there, so we stopped going to. Well, let me go ahead and done. Slay. We did it. We did our homework. We applied for, I think, like 20 jobs. Not a black belt yet. BH. Hopefully I will by the beginning of next year. Or is it, wow. That's fast. I feel like it's supposed to take longer than that. But I was like 5 years old the last time I did Taekwondo. So things, I guess, maybe have changed a bit in the last 20, 30 years. Oh, she's speed running karate. Got it. Well, break a leg or break a board. That sounds like fun. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna take my dog out. We might stream tomorrow. I don't know. I feel like because with the new PC coming and not knowing when I'm gonna have that ready, I might not be able to stream until like the middle of next week. So learn about stuff within 2 weeks. So I'm trying to test for 2 belts worth of materials every 3 months. All right, get a girl. I'm not even sure if we have a place in my town where you can learn karate. Taekwondo. What's this? Oh, that link does not work. Oh, they do have karate. Karate, Kali stick fighting, and Russian Sistema. I've never heard of this place, but I know where that building is. Huh, very interesting. There's like a gym, I don't want to dox myself, but not far from where I live, but it's like an MMA one, and I've only ever seen like alpha looking presumably cishet men working out there, so I don't know that it's necessarily my kind of environment. Sounds good, Miles. Have a good class. Have so much fun. Drop a selfie in your little uniform in the Discord. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there, folks. Now that I see my viewer count pop back up again. Like I said, we'll probably stream tomorrow. Goose has his appointment at noon, and then depending on when this PC gets delivered, I think it's coming UPS, and UPS usually is later in the afternoon, so maybe early afternoon we'll stream. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out today. I appreciate it. I know streams have been really infrequent and kind of inconsistent, but hopefully when we get this PC replaced, I'll be able to get a little more consistent. I also want to start posting on like YouTube and Fourth Wall as well. I know I've been kind of quiet on Fourth Wall, and a lot of folks have left Fourth Wall because of that, I think. But I do want to start posting on there. I think what I want to do is start posting when I'm streaming in drag more consistently. I want to start filming my process of getting ready, and that I think can live on Fourth Wall. Little chit chat while I'm getting ready, and then streaming on Twitch, of course. So I do have a plan, but I also don't blame anybody for like piecing out while I figure that shit out too. So thank you all for hanging out today. I appreciate it. Hopefully you got some stuff done too. I know I yap a lot, but I hope you all have such a great day. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. Love you so much. Follow me on all the socials. Love you, mean it. Bye.